On level, you could be the greatest individual in football history.
We are back with another video. Oh, my days, man. We're just getting worse and worse. My days are just getting worse and worse. Rabiot, Arnautovic, lost to Brighton. I don't know what to say, man. But Flores, what are you telling me?
I'm good, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you can't be good. Don't give me that, man.
Why can't I be good?
Nah, man. I'll be honest, man. I tried being positive this entire summer, yeah. Rabiot ain't it. Arnautovic ain't it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That don't mean that I'm not good, though. Manchester United do Manchester United.
You're talking about like in general kind of thing.
Yeah. Like Manchester United do Manchester United things. Why am I shocked? Are you shocked by this? As much as you're disappointed, are you shocked? Is the word I'm at. All right, that's why you're disappointed. That's why you don't feel a way. Then I'm not shocked.
No, because I said this like, Melt was given 10 of all the power for the signings.
Yeah.
Why? Before we get started on Rabiot, why do you want Arnautovic? Like the reason is, they want Arnautovic because they worked with him in 2009 at FC 20.
Yeah.
You know what year it is now?
2022.
Exactly. And you want to play because you worked with him in 2009.
Yeah.
And you know when you look at like this guy went China for 3 years. Yeah, you didn't. I don't think he got double figure goals.
Yeah, Bainesy's going off on one. Your time, Bainesy. Your time.
Nah. Like the thing is, like,
I get it. This is therapy right now.
No. But you see this, like all of this, he's better than Rashford or Rabiot's better than McTominay and Fred and all of that stuff. I said this, they might be better, but I'll be honest, I do not care if they're better. These players should not be the parameter. Fred and McTominay should not be the parameter to justify us signing Rabiot. They shouldn't.
I agree.
Like I've said this before, like. Are any of these people like would City or Liverpool be linked to them?
Yeah.
The answer is no. The answer is no. Like City went and got signed Erling Haaland, the Liverpool signed Darwin Núñez, and we're signing Marko Arnautovic to close the gap. And this is why I kept saying, and I told you at the start of the summer, Myrtle messed up in terms of giving Ten Hag this much power.
So no Myrtle madness.
No, but I said this at the start of the summer though. Myrtle messed up giving Ten Hag this much power. I said you might be able to get away with it for 1 year, but next season this has to change. But this is why, like, listen, we don't know who requested all the power kind of thing, innit? Say, for example, if Ten Hag requested all the power, then Ten Hag is looking City. Because surely, you know, it happens with every single club. You're not necessarily going to get your number one target.
Yeah.
Look at City, for example. Everyone says City are well run. They couldn't get Cucurella. That was the number one target, so they have to move on. It happens. Liverpool, Jamal Lewis was the number one target left back. They couldn't get him. They went to Shimikas. So what was Ten Hag's alternatives? And if Ten Hag says, I don't have any alternatives, or the alternatives, I just want my number one target kind of thing, let's be honest, you are kind of naive. Naive.
That is a bad way to do business. You should have a plan B at least. Should have a plan B at least, because the thing is, why can't plan B work with your plan A anyway? You should have two. So say, for instance, whoever his backup is to De Jong, why not get that player and then try and sign De Jong next summer if we don't get him this summer, or whoever your plan A is the summer after. I hear that. I hear exactly what you're saying. I get that.
And this quickly, you see Sesko going to Leipzig for 24 million. I don't think this is necessarily on United, by the way. I just think, I think they wanted 40, 50, 60 million pounds for United. But you see this, a player moving from one Red Bull club to another. That's all it is. That's why they could get him for a cut price. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Like this Red Bull organization, the way they can have this many clubs, how that's allowed, that's the question for another day, innit? But that's all it is in my eyes. That's the only reason they could get him for that cheap.
That's the words to start my veins. If you want to work with me and want to offer, you know what I'm saying, my contact email is in my bios on Twitter and Instagram, innit? Contact Mr. Take Note.
No, but it is true.
Thank you.
It is true. That's the only reason they could get him for that cheap. And this year, do we have money? Surely Ten Hag has better options, but not the backing. I said this before, and this is what people need to realize. You cannot, like, no matter what club you are, especially United, you're working on a tighter budget. Especially United, because we know the people who own the football club. This is why we have to negotiate the best possible deals, etc., kind of thing, innit? And this is why, for example, now when we can't, in my eyes, pay the 80 million pounds for Anthony and then also sign De Jong. Any other club probably can, but you see United with the owners, that's never going to happen, kind of thing, innit? And I said this here, when people say, for example, Ralph would have changed things in terms of negotiation. Ralph might have scouted better players, potentially, but in terms of negotiating and stuff, and like the fees paid for certain players, it wouldn't have changed.
Yeah, but him being able to scout better players would have gave us more options, which would have been better. He would have given us better plan Bs and Cs.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Plan A's potentially as well.
I flipped it the other way then because I was talking with what's the guy's name? I was talking to Harj about it.
Big up Harj.
In my eyes, I don't think Ten Hag wanted to work with Ralph in it. I've said that before.
You did
like that. That's just that's not been confirmed. That's just my general opinion, kind of thing, isn't it? Because obviously we've seen how Ten Hag worked with Mark Overmars in terms of that direct link. I don't think he wanted someone else to get involved in that lineup, kind of thing, isn't it? But at the same time, say Ralph recommended the player, would Ten Hag have wanted it? Because right now, Ten Hag, in my eyes, is very, very particular in terms of his targets. Because say what you wanted, the recruitment team did give him targets in terms of. Don't get me wrong, I agree that we should have gone with Martinez, for example, but Pau Torres was what the recruitment team was suggesting.
See, that I don't mind in it because that's a prime example of what we're talking about. A plan A and a plan B. I like that it was Pau Torres and Martinez, whichever one we got. I personally would have preferred Martinez, but I like that. Why can't we do that with other positions? That's what I don't get.
To be fair, I said this before, like they might have done it, kind of thing, innit? But from publicly what we know, it don't seem like that's the case, and it just seems like it's all Ten Hag, for example.
Yeah.
Surely the recruitment team would have had a list of targets for even who's the other guy? Remember Calvin Phillips? How strongly we were linked to Calvin Phillips, and then they said Ten Hag had a veto over that signing. Yeah. And obviously, I'm not saying that signing would have happened because obviously the Leeds links and stuff, but he was clearly on the list of targets from the recruitment team. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, man. Like we'll talk about it a bit deeper. And big up 2001, he said, top show, lads. You guys know much about Matheus Nunes, Lisbon, bad weekend for me, United loss.
What was on YouTube?
Also,
I seen it. And I was like, my bad.
FPL league. Yeah, FPL, long week. Win the long week, I can't lie for me as well. But Matheus Nunes, I think he's a player that I would prefer over Rabiot. I think he's been linked to City in the past. I think Liverpool have been linked with him. Wolves have been linked with him. And I think I read today that he wants a Champions League club, though, innit?
All right, you're gonna have to educate me. What is he? 6, 8, 10? What is he?
Like I've said, if you go see, I think you play as an 8 kind of thing, innit? But obviously you can play a bit deeper as well.
Okay.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I would like him, but does Ten Hag want him? That's the thing that I keep saying. Does Ten Hag want these players?
Again, this comes down to Manchester United and Ten Hag. I put this on both of them. This should have been sorted out initially. When we sit down with him the first time, this should have been discussed. Why has this not been discussed on what we're doing? Whether it is Ten Hag gets all the power, or whether it is they work together, or the recruitment team give him a list of targets. What should have been discussed is the profile of player. Why is the profile of player? It shouldn't have been individual names. It shouldn't be I want A, B, and C. It should be I want my 6 to be of this profile. This is what he's good at. I want my 8s to do the same. I want my fullbacks to do this. I want my centre backs to do this. I want my striker to do this. On the right wing, I want left-footed players. On the left wing, I want right-footed players. Or on the left side, I want left-footed players. This should have all been discussed and sorted out. And this is just Manchester United not doing their due diligence. And I'm guessing that Ten Hag would have done his due diligence, but I don't see why this is now a problem. Because I actually like the players we signed so far. It's just not been enough. I like the 3 players though.
Some say, why didn't Murto sign Anthony when he was a lot cheaper? You see this, I've said this before. Don't get me wrong, you can blame Murto, but Ten Hag clearly had his list of targets. Martinez was clearly more of a priority than Anthony. If we had signed Anthony first, someone like Martinez would have been more expensive. And someone said Van der Sar wouldn't have been dealing with De Jong this long. That could be the case, but this is what I said. The director of football, in this case, Murto, had to be stronger in his stance. But Ten Hag, in this case, has too much power. Because Ten Hag's the one that's not walking away from this deal. He keeps persisting on the De Jong deal.
The De Jong deal, yeah.
That's the main reason. Like, if, for example, Ten Hag was told, yo, let's move away, they would. We done it with Timber, for example. Timber didn't want to join. Ten Hag said, yo, that's it, we're moving away. But that's the problem. Ten Hag has so much power in this that even if the club wanted to move away, they have to make a stronger stance on Ten Hag. And then people are going to moan that we're going against Ten Hag. And that's what I kept saying. The discussion between the recruitment team, director of football, and the manager is so important. You can't let the manager dictate everything. Because what
they
big
should
club
have had that discussion.
Yeah, what big club lets the manager decide every single transfer target? And someone said Baines is Rabiot a 10 Hag target. I said this to Flawless off air. I don't know. I don't know if Rabiot is a 10 Hag target. I just can't comment on that. Because there's been reports saying we've been linked with like Rabiot in the past and stuff, innit?
Yeah.
A couple months ago or 1 or 2 months ago. So I don't know. For me, why would it be a 10 Hag target? But anyway, Marcel, what are you saying?
Well gone, Baines, man. Flipping out. Is it connected? My bad, man. I was kind of got rushed. I just come in now, rushed. And I was like, oh, snap, yeah. I'm
Give me some positivity. Now. Give me some positivity.
There's not much of it, if I'm honest, bro. I mean, we're in a bit of a situation here. The positive thing is we've got the right man for the job. But has he got the tools for the job? You know, right now, you know, the board, we haven't backed him sufficiently, maybe, right now, people could say. He's tried to play the right style of play yesterday, but the players are not capable of doing it. And then they've reverted back to type, what they've been doing for many a year. Was there some good signs yesterday? There was maybe 1 or 2, but that's as far as it goes. I mean, we're in a bit of a situation here if he doesn't get the reinforcements and the players. And like I said yesterday, it's emotional. And I was very emotional yesterday based on the performance, based on everything that happened. But, you know, the long-term vision is we need to get the right quality of players and step by step. I'm seeing reports of Adrien Rabiot and Arnautovic coming in. That's, you know, I can't lie to you and give you positive on that, Baines, man. That's a big drop down. I can't, bro. And if at the end of the day it's the board that's decided that, or if it's Ten Hag that's decided that. If it's Ten Hag that's decided that, I understand it. You know, Klopp's brought in players that are just not here anymore within his first couple windows. You know, Pep's put players in that Nolito that just didn't work out. Bravo that just didn't work out. So I can understand certain ideas here for players, and he just wants players that, you know, he's trusted and that have played under him before. I can understand that sentiment, but we've seen these players within the Premier League. We've seen McFred within the Premier League. We know it doesn't work. That's why I would say to people, Ten Hag has to learn the hard way. It's one of those situations where you're playing a game or a console and you're seeing a brethren play it, and then you're looking at it thinking, oh, I could do better like this on this mission. And then when you get the pad, it's the exact same headache. You guys can't get past it. So you know, so there's a certain, do you know what I mean? So I understand. We have to trust that process. It's going to take 3 or 4 years. We know that incompetent business from Ed Woodward for years now. This has been 5-10 years of this. The wage structure needs certain players are on 250k a week with no trophies in their cabinet. The whole Liverpool squad are below that. The whole Man City squad are below that. So that's going to take time to whittle that out. You know, Marcus Rashford done great things for the country. But, you know, the entitlement that one must have being paid that much with nothing to show for it. It's been an issue, Baines, man. It's been an issue, Flawless. It's a big issue for this club. But the positive is this is the right man. This man will win us trophies. That's the bottom line of it. If we don't back him, we need to do something maybe as a club, as a community to get these owners out. The signs have been there for many a year, I think.
But do you think we're silly giving Ten Hag this much power?
No.
Because Arnautovic is clearly a Ten Hag signing because obviously he's worked with him before and stuff, isn't it?
Okay, so if it is, then let's look at it. We only have maybe 4 starting forwards. Arnautovic would be the 5th. It's competition for, you know, there's positives to look at it in detail. I mean, there's competition for places there. Now, there's 5 forwards. He's kind of a target man. He will be the focal point striker at some stage if Ronaldo can't play, you know, and I don't know why I think Rashford was complaining because he wants to play in the forward line up front. You know, he was captain and scored a goal in the preseasons. You can't look too much into the preseason, yes, but he was up front then and he played maybe the best off the ball and on the ball. Throughout the preseason, off the ball, he was a lot better. On the ball, he wasn't good in the wide areas. Yesterday, off the ball, rubbish, and on the ball, rubbish. But the only time where he played well on the ball was when he's up front with the captaincy armband. So maybe up front is maybe somewhere that we should have utilized him. But Arnautovic would be a focal point striker, I think, and knows what Ten Hag wants. So if it is a signing, and I don't think it's too much of an issue. I don't think it's too much of an issue to give Ten Hag this much power. I genuinely believe that.
But don't you think he's a bit mediocre targeting a player just because you worked with him in 2009? Yep,
and like I said, he's got to learn the hard way. He's got to learn that we're talking about Tottenham and Conte and how he's managed to turn things around. This is an established manager. He won Premier Leagues. He made mistakes in the Premier League already with Chelsea. we're talking about Tuchel. He has trusted players. He's going through a rebuild process, but there's some core players in there that know that this man can win me a Champions League. You know, he's still got to get players, even the likes of Eriksen, he's still got to get him on side. Even Ronaldo, you've seen your guy, even Ronaldo, he's seen it already. So it's difficult. We're in a difficult place. But if they don't back him, and you know what the biggest issue for me is he ready to move on from the Frenkie de Jong situation? Is that going to kill us? Is our manager's adamant behavior on, you know, I must have this player going to kill us right now, only short term, because again, the long-term vision, I feel like this is the right man for the job. But for this window, we might be suffering all the way to January where he thinks, all right, no, I need to get the CDM in right now because McFred's not going to work, and then he just gets anyone in. But and the Frenkie de Jong situation for me, it's a very peculiar one and a unique one. I don't think if we don't get him in this window, we don't get him at all. And that's what I just genuinely believe.
Do you think we should move on now? Because I'm at a stage where, like, I was backing the De Jong deal, but now I'm just like, yeah, you have to move on. Chelsea interested. If it's between us and Chelsea, choose Chelsea.
See, so I disagree. I think if it's between us and Chelsea, he comes to United.
Why do you say that?
So a lot of people are telling me the Ten Hag pool doesn't exist, but I think it does. Just my opinion. And yeah, so I think he comes. I genuinely think he comes, and we're giving him the opportunity to play in his 6th role. I don't know if he gets that same opportunities extended to him at Chelsea. So,
but then at Chelsea, you also have Champions League football, and then I said this, let's be honest, we're not confident of getting Champions League this year, innit?
No,
so it could be 2 years without the Champions League.
It is though. Does he play for Chelsea? That is a very valid point. It is World Cup year as well. Does he?
Like, no matter what year, he's still going to get
I'm not sure.
Minutes.
I'm not sure if he gets enough minutes. If he comes to us, he starts. He knows this week in, week out. At Chelsea, I don't think it's that. You don't start week in, week out at Chelsea.
If Thomas Tuchel's spending £80 million on the midfielder, surely you start. Jorginho has 1 year left on his contract. Kante, let's be honest, weren't good enough last year. Kovacic, we know, is kind of injury prone.
Yeah, but I'm saying look at what you're relying on in terms of Jorginho, 1 year left in his contract. He's still going to play him. Kovacic, say he has a good season injury-wise. Kante, like you said, yeah, he declined a little bit. What I'm saying is there's no guarantee he starts for them. It's a guarantee if he comes to us. Is there a bit of United bias from me? Probably. But what I'm saying is that's how he's looking at it. Do you want to go to Chelsea and potentially be sat on the bench? Because it's going to happen. Let's not act like Kovacic isn't a quality midfielder. Jorginho's not good. Kante, even though he's declining, can still operate. Like, we'd kill for a Kante level midfielder right now, even though he is declining. With us, he's numero uno and he starts week in, week out. He knows this. Do you want to do that in a World Cup year? Do you run that risk? At Chelsea, a better project.
But let's be honest here, he's still better than most Holland midfielders. Like, even if he's not playing week in, week out, and he's still getting like a fine amount of minutes.
But do you take that? What I'm saying is, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying it's a risk. Do you take that risk at this point with him? Is Chelsea a better project? 110%.
I think Dion will take that risk.
See, that's where
being in
London
London over
I don't know.
Manchester as well.
I'm saying I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And what's this London over Manchester stuff? What's that about?
No, it's not me saying it. It's just a report.
And people say that, like, you say, yeah, like there isn't that much difference. Been to both cities. There isn't
it's not
that
me
much
saying
difference.
it, Flawless.
I'm just saying it. Like, one's just miles more expensive than the other.
Look at this guy, Mancunian, defending his city now.
Yeah, let's go, man. You know what I'm saying? And let's go. It's gonna be right. Like, I'm not saying London isn't, but I like London. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like it. Like, outside of Manchester, second favorite city in the country. But like, let's not act like there's a major difference. People act like the weather's major different. It's just hella more expensive and easier to get around. That's it.
Wait, so Marcel, yeah, you're not moving away from the deal then?
No, right. So right now, I so believe it or not, Baines, I still believe this man's coming through the door. Until the window closes, I still, in my head, and people calling me delusional, people saying I'm crazy. And I respect them. I respect them and their opinions, but I still think it's possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if Frenkie de Jong comes through the door. That's just how I'm going to feel. But if he doesn't, I would like to think that we have got somebody ready at the helm to go into the market for. So that's also another
Rabiot.
Thing. Who?
Rabiot.
Well, and if it's Rabiot, then I have to trust him. I have to trust this gaffer. This is the guy I have to trust and believe in. Listen, Richard Arnold has told us that the money's there. 15 million is definitely there in the kitty. So listen, I'm judging these man after the window. That's when I do and I look at this window and I say, this is a 5 out of 10 window. Right now, it's looking like a 4 out of 10 window. We've clearly seen after the Brighton game that we have issues that need to be sorted.
Wait, so Marcel, if there's a week left of the window, De Jong's still not in, what do you do?
As me as a fan or as the board? Because it looks like it's going to be panic stations. It's
If
almost
you
coming
were
as panic
10 up, what would
stations.
you do? Would you then say, yeah, I want to walk away now?
I think the club are going to him even now at this point. That's why we're mostly hearing Rabiot, because the club is saying, well, listen, my friend, we're waiting on him. Who would you want to come in as a cheaper option right now? That's going to be an upgrade on those two. And he's mostly said, listen, it's Rabiot. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Rabiot is a 10 up target?
I would like to think so. I would like to think so. If we're going as things have happened, Malacia's come in. I think Ten Hag most probably had a word in that. Eriksen's come in. I think Ten Hag also had a word in that. And Martinez. So I would like to think that going in that kind of, school of thought, definitely Rabiot's one of those players. But he's maybe said, or the board said to him, look, do you want a cheap option right now? Somebody to come in right now. McFred's not good enough. They've got issues. They just don't have the minerals to play for this club. Who do you want coming in right now that's just cheap and affordable? And he's most probably suggested Rabiot. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's Rabiot and Frenkie de Jong coming in.
Yeah, that would have surprised me. With that possibility of Rabiot, why do you think then it weren't done a bit quicker in the window like before?
He's adamant that Frenkie de Jong comes through the door. He's adamant that Frenkie de Jong comes from the door, and that might be to his detriment as at the beginning stages of his career here, at the beginning stages of his tenure here.
And I think the answer that was to go further on that question. That defeat to Brighton was an eye-opener, man. That's what's almost spread it up as well. Marcel said it numerous times, and I like it. You're going to have to learn the hard way. That's a big eye-opener. Like, I believe Ten Hag was fully aware of the issues at hand and the massive project. But then when you see it firsthand, opening day of the season at home to Brighton, who weren't even that good, that lets you know even further. That's made him go, all right, let's go get Rabiot now. Let's go get who we need to get right now alongside Dio. If Rabiot is his signing. If it is, I don't know. I legit don't know. Big up Jazz as well in the cut.
But don't you think over the last few weeks in pre-season when you weren't the best, like, it should have been there? Like, you could see it.
Yeah, I didn't watch pre-season like that, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I've seen clips and bits and we look decent. But again, it's the eye-opener, man. You've heard the phrase. Your parents probably said it to you. Maybe not. You can't hear, you must feel. Now he's feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because it should have been done earlier. Yes, we all banged on. I'm sure Marcel, you know what I'm saying, has said this on previous live streams before today that Manchester United should have done business earlier. Me and you have said it many a times, Bainsy, that we should have got people in for the first game. But it's not a perfect window. It doesn't run like that. But now he's learning in regards to, right, I should have had people in prepared. But he probably didn't expect it to be that bad. I didn't. As much as I don't rate these players, I didn't expect it to look like that. As much as I don't rate these men.
And I would say, contrary to what Flawless is saying, I personally was one of the people that got the wool pulled over my eyes, if I'm honest. I thought preseason was all right. I thought at moments it looked functional. I've said it looked like a half-decent functional midfield at times. Compared to what we saw last season, I'm seeing players look like they can pass out the back and create something from the back and build up a play. The exact same players. Okay, I didn't see much of the McFred combination, but I saw at times a little bit of a build-up. So, and we shouldn't have looked everything into preseason, 100%. But, this is a huge eye-opener, massive, and a good reality check. And we got two of those towards the end of the preseason. Before, at the beginning, it was all hunky-dory against lesser opposition, not a fully-fledged Crystal Palace side, a bit more of a better Aston Villa side. But, this was perfect eye-openers. When we got against top opposition in Atletico, it was difficult. Now against a well-drilled team in Brighton at home, it was difficult. Another point to make is, listen, these players are spineless anyway. Their best season in recent time has been COVID season when it was empty stadiums. Their best spell of football that I've seen them is away from the fans, away from that pressure of the 75,000, where you're groaning when things are not going well, where you're making it feel hostile for them sometimes when they're not performing and they're not giving us anything. The moment they stepped into their fans, they look like Oli again. Most of the games at home for Oli, I could hear the away fans screaming and jeering against us and celebrating at the end of the game. It's the exact same thing that I heard the other day.
Because they were olaying us and saying, "Oh, you're getting sacked in the morning."
I'm saying, and this is why I don't watch preseason, because Marcel said it there. He got the wool pulled over his eyes. That's why I don't pay attention to it. This is why I don't watch it, because when it comes to the first game of the season, that don't mean nothing. That great preseason and all the preseason hype. Look what happened when these players got on the big stage. And they weren't even the big stage. It was Brighton at home. This wasn't Liverpool at home. This wasn't Liverpool away. This wasn't City. This wasn't Chelsea. This wasn't Europe. This wasn't a major team. This is Brighton at home, no disrespect, who weren't even great. It's not even like Brighton were fantastic and you can go, you know what, they played phenomenal. They were the better side. We gave them the game. We
Two
gave
mistakes
them
in
the game.
Two
Look
mistakes
at
in
the
the first
mistakes, bro.
10.
Yeah, like look at the mistakes we made for the like. You can and you can literally play this and insert team name here from last season. The amount of games we lost and the team was there for the taking. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There isn't that many great teams in this league. There isn't. I'm saying, is there good individuals? Yes, and good systems and good managers, absolutely. But we look at the goals we conceded. We gave them them goals in there, absolutely, and just basic mistakes. McTominay dribbling through the center circle. What's going on?
Probably should have sent off as well.
What is going on? Shaw let him march, got in on his left foot. That's just basic defending.
Basic.
Show me winger down the line. Everyone, I've played Saturday, Sunday league. That's basic. You know what I'm saying in that? Don't let him cut in. I'm saying. We say that shit to each other on pro clubs. Yeah, don't let him cut in. Show him the line. And this is a professional footballer that can't do this. And he's been here this. Man, don't even start me off. Go on, carry on.
Okay, then talking about the game yesterday, do you then think maybe Ten Hag got it wrong starting Shaw? Because I'll be honest, I think he did. I think Malacia in pre-season has been good. I think the last two games, all Shaw didn't play against Rayo Vallecano and Atletico. I was surprised because I was certain Malacia would have played.
He has to learn the hard way. I'm happy that he's doing this. Listen, I've said it. This is a write-off season for me. I just wanted to see good football, but I know that he's going to lose games and he's going to win games this season. This is a building process. I'm happy that he's making these mistakes now. I'm happy. He has to. He still believes that these players got potential. Imagine saying that to us fans that have seen this club we've been watching this club for years. Imagine we've seen these players play for us. Luke Shaw, 8 years we've seen him, watched him. He's just come through the door. So he has to learn it literally the hard way and understand for himself, listen, this is no good. This one here, he's no good. This one here is no good. So
Ten Hag really wants to give everyone a clean slate, but I think as fans, we know, listen, what a leopard don't change his spots or something. That's what Rory King said. We know what we're going to get with these players.
Because we've been here. Yeah. That's the thing is, because we've been here watching Luke Shaw for 8 years, whoever else for 2, 3 years, 4 or 5 years, he don't know. So that's why I say to him, all right, you don't know these man in terms of their technical ability and also their mental, like how they are from the mental side as well, and what they're like on the stage. You know what I'm saying? On the main stage, I've said this. He don't know how they react in front of 75,000 fans. He don't know how they react when things are going wrong. He don't know how they react when things are going well. He doesn't know who takes an instruction when we're playing well or we're playing badly. Like he's got to learn all of these things. So that's why I don't blame him. But he needs to learn quick. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, I don't want to see next game. There's no excuse for McFred now. And if we do see it, it has to be a system change. There has to be a three at the back. Like, switch it up now. That's one thing I want to see is you, like, all right, mistakes have been made. Let's try and problem solve now. We have problems. Do we have the best solutions? No, but try and find one. You have to attempt to find a solution.
I'll be honest, though.
You play a youngster in there.
Like, you could argue that other way because, you know, previous seasons we see McTominay and Fred literally play together as a pivot. You saw in terms of build that McTominay was quite high up and stuff, innit?
Well,
and let's be honest, I've always said this here. Say what you want about McTominay as a player, his best asset is probably his ball striking ability. Like,
he's a better 8 than he's a 6. Yeah, I agree.
So having him like further, like closer to the goal and stuff, it kind of did make sense. But you saw it in terms of like him on the turn, it was shocking and stuff. So that's where I do give Ten Hag some sort of credit in terms of at least he's trying to change. But at the same time, come on, man, we know this.
He's smart because that's why when he took Fred off, he put Eriksen in a 6. He realized quick McTominay can't do that. That's why Eriksen went from like false 9/10 to a 6. Like, he's like, Ten Hag's a very clever individual. He spotted that straight away in less than 90 minutes. McTominay can't do that. He can't link that. So he'll figure it out. But like I said, Brentford, I'm looking at the lineup. That's what that is. Now have you learned? I don't want to see Shaw either. That has to be Malacia. Criminal, because he's at fault for both goals. Well, he played his part in the third goal as well. Why he's 2-on-1 at the back post and not shouting anybody, I don't know. Shout Fred. Rashford. Fred should have been there as well. But shout Fred.
I don't blame Shaw for that goal. I said this, like, where's Rashford?
No, shout. No. The thing is, shout somebody is what I'm saying. It's 2-on-1. You can see it happening. Shout. Why are you not shouting? You know what I'm saying? And that. Why are you just being a part of the problem? If you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Shout.
It's all Luke Shaw.
Why are you not shouting? But that's Luke Shaw, typical of him. Passive. Very, very passive. This is why I'm on him. And you're one of the most senior players. Out of that back line, you are the most senior player. Martinez is new. Dalot's 22? And Maguire's younger than you. You've been here 8 years. You've been here 8 years. All right, this is what we're talking about. McTominay, again, younger than you. Fred, younger than you. Rashford, young. Wait, when I think about you're what? Yeah, you are minus Eriksen, you're the most senior player on the pitch. You wouldn't know that though. This guy gets away with murder. This guy's 2 years away. This guy's 2 years away from a testimonial, you know.
No, I blame Shaw for second goal, innit? But first guy was like,
no. I'm not saying he's fully at fault. I'm saying take blame. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, why are you not shout? Should you be in that position? No, him being 2-on-1 is not his fault. That's not what I'm saying. He shouldn't be 2-on-1. What I'm saying is, why are you not shouting at someone saying, "Yo, help me"? Why? Rashford's there, Fred's there. You have two DMs and a left winger to help you out there, and a centre back. Shout somebody, or you just quiet, and then they score. Is he most to blame? He's probably the most minimal, but you're still at fault though. It's a team game.
Big up Charlie as well. He said he saw Marcel yesterday.
Yes, Fred, man. Yes, it was good to see him. Actually, he had a good interview actually with Flex.
Yeah, I watched that.
Questionable shirt.
Yeah, he even said, "Hey, short shirt, crazy."
Yeah,
Make sure you guys like the video as well. The next thing I wanted to ask you, Marcel, what would you change for next week then?
We need a focal point striker. 1 minute it was Bruno in the false nine, but next minute it was Eriksen. I think it helped a little bit with Ronaldo up front. Martial will be in there, so that will help with the link up. I think Martial is able to speed up that forward line play with the quick one-touch passing. That was it was pedestrian yesterday. The other day, it was pedestrian. It was too slow in the back line. Passes between each other was way too slow. So I would. The low wasn't good enough, but he's gonna have to stay. The McFred partnership has to go as well. So I'll put Ronaldo in that forward line, maybe 9, and then one of them two got to go out, maybe Donny in. Something like that.
I think Malacia plays. I think obviously Ronaldo / Martial, whoever's fit, plays. I'll be honest, I want to see Donny start now.
Yes.
The start of preseason, I can understand people criticizing him and stuff, but I'll be honest, against Rayo Vallecano, he impressed me. He was a lot more aggressive. And you know how we always say, where's Donny on the pitch? For the first time, I saw Donny van der Beek, and I'm like, you had a decent link up with Cristiano Ronaldo. Him and Eriksen, they were linking up relatively well in my eyes. And I think, again, when he came on yesterday, there was that one pass where I can't remember who he played it to, but it was like on the right-hand side of the pitch. Like first-time pass. It was a very clever pass, and I can't remember. I think it might have been to Sancho. But you saw that moment of just intelligence kind of thing from Donny. And I feel that now he's finally earning that start, and obviously someone said Sancho, but let's be honest, man. We just need to break up that McFred partnership. I think everyone's just had enough of it. And I think Ten Hag will eventually have enough of it as well, because I'm losing my mind already.
You know what I'm saying? He has to see the light. If you not, as much as I back the manager, like if you don't, like that's a big black mark if you don't split that up. And if you keep it, you better change the system. You better go to a back three with wing backs and then have them two in there. Otherwise, what's the point? Like you're clearly not learning. If you think that, what makes you think now after seeing it that can work? After that, like we spoke about ruling with the iron fist and punishing players when their performances are up to a certain standard. That is not it. What McTominay completed made 28 passes in what the whole time he was on the pitch?
Completed 19. I think De Gea completed more.
Come on, man. And we dominated possession. We had more of the ball. So where was you?
Yeah,
he hides all the time. It's ridiculous. This guy gets get away with murder. As bad as other people are, them two there specifically get away with murder. It's only now people want to criticize him, and I see social media more criticizing him and media and pundits. These men have been doing this.
I'll be honest, man. I don't even think it's just them. I think this entire squad get away with murder. Because I said this, even people like, for example, and I love Jadon Sancho, but Sancho weren't good yesterday.
Sancho was shocking. That's Rashford for you, though.
Like I said, the centre backs are full were fine. The centre backs are full were fine in it, but the rest of the team,
centre backs okay. Bro.
I thought Eriksen was all right. Like I'll be honest, I think people are overhyping that Eriksen performance.
You know what it was? I thought he was just bright. That's all it is. He was bright in a very dimmed, in a dark team. That's what it was. You could see him attempting to do things, trying to do the right things, and trying to get us ticking and trying to get us going, and actually playing on the half turn.
I thought our movement, just in general as a side, was poor as well. Because even like when the centre backs had the ball, people were saying like, why are they taking too many touchdowns? And I was just thinking like, where are the options? Like McTominay, like for example, like people are criticizing McTominay for that. I'm like, I don't think McTominay's actually meant to be involved in the build-up, innit? Like the way he positions himself, he's quite high up. But the rest of them, like, surely the fullback should provide better options. The wingers maybe come down a bit, help provide better options. But it didn't really in my eyes.
Yeah, but they were doing that in the preseason. And then when you're in front of the 75 and there's pressure to do it with quality and do it quickly, there's hiding again. And they're reverting back to type. They're scared. So that's the issue. There's no real leaders. There's no real men in this team to change it around and say, listen, we got an expectation to do this now. Let's deliver. And that was the biggest issue. We couldn't produce what we were producing before against a well-drilled team that's going to have ideas. This is how we're stopping them, and we're going to do it quickly, and we're going to get out to players quickly and press and be aggressive, whereas we're not confident in what we're trying to do. And the players just don't have the quality to be confident under the pressure, especially in that middle. So now you can't connect the midfield line to the forward, the defensive line to the forward line, because nothing's really going on in the middle. Eriksen, like you said, I don't think he had a brilliant game, because he wasn't even on the ball much, or he couldn't find the ball much. And then Bruno was looking lost. He was trying to run a lot, but to no avail. Man. Yeah, he looked really lost. He's my favorite player, but he just looked so lost. And then because the ball's not getting out to the wide players a lot of the time, Sancho's just standing around. He's just standing around, moving, staying wide, because that's how the manager wants you to do it. But if you if the defense can't build it up to you, then you're not part of the game. So it was difficult to watch. It was a difficult watch, but it's because the quality's not there.
We got 2001 with a super track. He said, transfer window should be exciting like meeting a new woman. These owners make me feel like the day you go back to work after Christmas. Paqueta, anyone? I'll be honest, I like Paqueta, but I just don't think he's the right sort of signing for Manchester United. I feel like we just need something like that attacking area in our midfield. I feel like that's covered, isn't it? We need someone a bit deeper, for example, with De Jong. We'd be linked with that Huedo Rodriguez guy from Real Betis today, which I don't think is a bad signing, because he's actually a natural six, isn't it? And let's be honest, we need that.
Yeah, we need 2 6s. But hey,
and we need an entire new team. The more I'm looking at it.
Hey, Ralph was smitten, man. But people got mad at him.
I'll be honest though, I said this, I don't think Ralph changes a lot in this side.
No. I'm not saying he changes a lot. When I say Ralph was smitten, I'm talking about when he said it's open heart surgery and we need 11 new players.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. When he said that, people wanted to get onto him. You know what I'm saying? When people talk about the last guys reset the culture and he built our team, look at the mess we're in. We need a rebuild from the rebuild. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
We need a rebuild. How do you need to rebuild from the rebuild? That's how bad it is. Like, we got to set a foundation to build upon. We are building on sand currently, and that's why Ten Hag is in a terrible predicament. But he knows this. I'm sure Ten Hag was fully aware of this, and I've said it before. I'll say it again. Now he's even more so aware. If he was aware, this just reinforces it. Like, we all knew these things. Nothing shocked me yesterday about these players. Bruno had a poor performance. Rashford wasn't good. McTominay and Fred weren't good. Shaw wasn't good. Pick any game. Just pick a game from last season and that applies. It's insert team name here. Rashford wasn't good against. McTominay wasn't good against. Bruno wasn't. Like, these players, this is why we're crying out for new players in the transfer window. So hopefully we get them. It's only the 8th of August. So we still have time.
Before we get into De Gea, I want to ask Marcel, what do you think about that centre-back punch? Because I'll be honest, I thought that was one of the positives from yesterday.
It looked all right. We were, a lot of the time our aim was to maybe play on the halfway line, and that's where it looked maybe at its best. Obviously, a lot of the time Martinez got us out of a lot of problems in terms of his long passing range and was very comfortable in the ball at times. It looked all right. I just don't think Maguire's the right fit. But again, the Ten Hag's going to learn the hard way with that one, you know. And in terms of him, you know, actions speak louder than words. He doesn't know much about this squad, so he's learning.
But do you think Maguire was bad yesterday? Because I'll be honest, I don't.
No. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch. He was one of the better ones out of a rubbish. We lost the game, so it was rubbish. Do you know what I mean? We was below par in that game. So I'm not saying he was fantastic. I'm not saying he's a 7 out of 10, a 6 out of 10. But he, out of the rubbish performances, he played all right. He was one of the better ones. So I would actually, and that's got to be, that was his best. If I charter that to all the performances last season, that's one of his better ones. You know, it was only Leeds and West Ham last season at home that he really played well.
Yeah,
so
West Ham was good.
Yeah, he was good. So then that would be maybe one of his top 3 performances in a couple of years.
Sticky one with Maguire, flawless. David De Gea. Go on.
I didn't clock this actually till afterwards, which is why it's always good to go back and like watch games afterwards, like him for the first goal, because it's like the ball's been flashed across the box, And obviously, because you're watching and like you're on the watch along, paying attention to comments and all that, you don't see it. But then when you see that ball was close to him, he can cut that out. Well, if he cuts it out, he probably gets whacked. Well, you're a goalkeeper. Take the whack. Well, we've seen David De Gea not be brave before. We've seen this. We've seen him come out for crosses and he's punched the ball and he's looking away. If that's a madman, if that's your stereotypical goalkeeper, because, you know, to be a goalkeeper, you have to be a little bit not all there. He's taking a whack. Be brave. Well, I've spoken about David De Gea and people got onto me about this because, oh, he's been our player of the year and where would we be without him and blah, blah, blah. Same defense, Marcel. You already know. Same defense to get over now. Where would he be? Is he good enough? No. Bainesy give you credit. You said it early. And this ain't even nothing to do with that in terms of him being a modern day goalkeeper. That's not even modern day goalkeeper. But this is why the season before last, I wanted him gone. Because he had 3 seasons where he was poor for 2 and he was average. So I said, we got to wait 4 years for this guy to turn up. Like, football's a what have you done for me now sport, not lately. What have you done for me now? Don't tell me what you did in 2017 and 2018. This is 2022. Are you up to scratch now? And no, put it this way, if that's Henderson making that mistake, different conversation. But
I can't lie, yeah. You see Twitter, see these Henderson and De Gea stands. Oh my life, they're the most annoying thing.
Stands.
They're both crap.
Stands. Like, I wouldn't call Henderson crap. I mean, no, I wouldn't call De Gea
No,
crap.
but like they're both average kind of thing. We need to upgrade them both.
Yeah, we need to upgrade, but like De Gea is not the most important thing now. But what all I would say is criticizing when fair dues. Like when I seen it, because I seen it on Twitter, I was like, he could have got that. But nobody's talking about it. I'm guessing I've not seen the pundits afterwards talking about it. I bet they didn't mention it. So it's like, why is it Twitter doing the job of mentioning it? But that's David De Gea. We know he's not brave. And as a goalkeeper, that's one of the things you have to be. Because you are in a position where you are going to get kicked. You are going to get elbowed. It's like, that's what it is. But
you think for the second goal, you could have done better in terms of parrying the ball away further?
Yes.
Potentially, yes. Potentially, you want him to push it wide, but it was a good strike. That's more so unsure. You know what I'm saying? And that, like,
I
why
blame Fred for that goal as well. Because as soon as David De Gea saved it, I think Fred was the closest man to the ball falling, innit? You have to switch on. Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel like a lot of our players had that problem in terms of the scanning around the pitch. They don't know where they are on the pitch. Like, remember Ethan Laird against Rabiot? I'm not blaming him yet. Well, actually, I am blaming him. Forget that. You see, first 20 seconds, there was a ball came in, Ethan Laird just switched off. And even for the goal, I think Ethan Laird could have done better in terms of when, I think, was it Tom Heaton made the save? Switching on. McTominay has that problem in terms of knowing where you are on the pitch. A lot of players have that problem in our team.
Well, that comes down to that skill. You know what I'm saying? And that positional awareness is a skill. And can you improve on it? It can be taught in the right system, yes, but closing down after a rebound is basic. You know what I'm saying? And even though I don't really put that on Fred, even though he wasn't good, but yeah, De Gea for the first one, you have to do better there. You do. Come on, take the whack and maybe get injured. I think not wanting to get hurt.
I think it was the corner that we scored from here. You know the corner that we scored from? I think it was Ericsson who made the shot, the keeper saved, and then the Brighton player followed up in it. Because I think Ronaldo was trying to come in and they obviously cleared it for a corner. Like that's just the difference between there in terms of switching on and us switching off.
Yeah.
Because if Brighton player switched off, Ronaldo would have tapped that in.
Right.
Same thing with whatever Pascal Gross scoring that goal. What do you think about De Gea then yesterday, Marcel?
I've been saying it for you. So I'm renowned for this.
I know you are. I think he's a pinned tweet on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm renowned for this.
Let's go, Marcel. I fucks with that. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm renowned for this, man. I've been saying it for a long time, but I don't know what else more I can really say is. But in terms of priority, you know, a lot of the fan base are telling me no, the priority is the midfield, and I respect that. So I've said I'll give him the year, I'll give him the season. I don't think for me when your goalkeeper is the player of the season, that's an issue for me. I've never really wanted to be in a team where my goalkeeper is the player of the season. I don't want to be in that side unless you're Manuel Neuer, who revolutionized goalkeeping for me. Then I don't want you to be the goalkeeper season. I need my midfielders being part of that, my strikers, that kind of thing. That's what changes games. But for me, you know, he's just not good enough. He can't come out of the box quick enough. He can't command his area. Basic things. We saw that in preseason. We got a glimpse of that in preseason. He can't defend his near post. Yeah, he can't defend his near post. The passing range was bad in the first half. There's just so many problems with his game. I mean, you know, and the goal, I fully blame him. Yes, Luke Shaw should show him down the line, but for me, when I was younger, my goalkeeper's told to parry out for a corner. instead of passing it literally into the path of the opposition striker for a tap-in. He's completely at the fault. Even he had an opportunity to start a counter-attack where the ball's in his hands and he has to deliver a pass to Rashford, who's breaking lines, busting a cut to break lines. He can't kick the ball from his hands to him, straight to the fullback. Can't get it over the heads of players. I've seen Alisson set Mo Salah on a counter-attack against us because he's got quality from his hands. De Gea doesn't have that. I just know he doesn't have those minerals.
You even saw it, the other day on Friday, Ramsdale, that little kick that he done.
Yeah.
With the side of his foot.
Yeah. It's just not good enough for me. It's just not good enough for me, unfortunately. So he needs to go. And he's on the wages where you're the best player, goalkeeper on the earth. On the earth. And that's your game. This you only can save. He'll be perfect at Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid would love David De Gea because they only focus on that phase of the game, saving the shots. Half of his team's in his box. So, he just shouldn't be anywhere near our club. He should have been gone very long ago. I got slaughtered for it. But, it will continue. Remains to be. I'll be getting proved right every single week. Receipts. I'll get proved it. People come to me all the time about it. Oh, I'm sorry, this. So I'll just leave it as it is now.
I was thinking this here. If Ten Hag really, really wants his number one target in De Jong and can't get him, do you think we should be looking at a goalkeeper?
Again, because
if Ten Hag just wants his number one target kind of thing. Because next season, I think David De Gea contract finishes, isn't it?
Yeah. So, okay. So then the wages go off the bill with David De Gea. But I think Hendo gets his opportunity. And I've been saying this as well. I'm not pro Henderson, but when you look at these two goalkeepers, David De Gea for me came in and had the opportunity to make mistakes when he was younger. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't brave enough, all these things. And then he developed himself and became a good goalkeeper. Why wasn't that opportunity maybe now or extend, or it should be? Let me not talk about the past. From when Henderson steps back in, that opportunity for him to grow into a better goalkeeper should be extended to him. If it's not, then you need to go into the market for Jose Sa. You need to go into the market for Sanchez. You need to go into a market for somebody else. Because both of them are no good, like you said already, Baines, but I would have extended that opportunity to Henderson because he can at least play from his feet better.
I'll be honest, I don't think Dean Henderson, no matter what happens, wants to stay at the club now. Like, the way he spoke the other day in terms of saying he was like a caged animal. And don't get me wrong, I agree with him because Oli, for example, did sell him a lot of promises with a lot of players as well, innit?
Yeah.
I don't think he comes back. But you never know. I said the same thing about Martial in terms of I couldn't see Martial coming back. But it's all
about foot. The thing is with football, it's all about what's going on. Like I said, what are you doing for me now? If he came back and was the number one goalkeeper, he's not going to turn that down. If he was given, say De Gea was sold next season and De Henderson was given the number one share and it's like, you're going to be my number one. You think he's not going to stay? Of course he's going to stay. He just wants game time. Whether he's good enough or not is a whole different conversation. But all he wants is game time. I've been saying this about De Gea. We shouldn't have given him that contract initially. He was never getting that money elsewhere. Why we went and gave him, 350K, 400K a week, whatever it was. Why? Where was he going to? Goalkeepers are because it's like one person position, you can pinpoint who needs a goalkeeper. Where was he going at this point? If he leaves now, where is he going? He ain't getting that money anywhere else. But that's typical bad business of Manchester United's part, which then impacts further business when we go and approach players. I've said this before, because of us doing bad business for the past 8-9 years, when we go and approach players, team seals come in and be like, United won him. Yeah, throw extra money on that. Player goes, yeah, throw extra wages on that. That's how it works. But we need a midfielder regardless. Yeah, it's a knock-on effect, absolutely. But we need we need two midfielders, we know this. A goalkeeper, I wouldn't say is important, but it has to be addressed in the next year, 2 years.
I'll be honest, the more I'm seeing De Gea, I think it is. Like, I'm at that point where I genuinely think David De Gea is becoming a net negative to the side. Like, you can show me all the saves you want here, but in terms of him playing at the back, him coming up for crosses, like, I was frustrated last year. And I'm starting to get frustrated even more. Yeah, and what I've been saying this for now, what Ollie's second season, I think it was?
Yeah, you've been saying this for the longest. And for you to get annoyed with the player, that's what makes me go, all right, let me watch this closer, because you're not the type who will criticize the player unless you're really against it. Like, you will give players the benefit of the doubt. So when I hear you criticize the player, I'm like,
and the thing is, it's not even,
that's bad. That's bad.
I like David here. Like, David here seems like a nice guy and stuff, innit? But it's just frustrating. Like, I watch Alisson. I watch Robert Sanchez. I watch David Raya. And then I have to watch David here.
Right.
everything else in this club has changed, except for David De Gea. Everything else has changed since he last won the Premier League. Everything else, all positions, the staff, the managers, David De Gea is still here. It's crazy.
It's mediocre, man. It's
him
mediocre.
Him and Phil Jones still here.
Yeah.
It's those two.
Listen, 3 weeks left of the window now, I think. How do you save this?
Sign players. That's how you save this.
Who?
Sign players, yo. You sign as many players as possible.
Actually, let's do this.
You know
Predict how the window finishes in terms of who we sign.
Go on, Marcel.
I believe Frenkie de Jong walks through the door, so that's going to come from me. And it's 2 players. It's Šeško apparently looks like he's not coming, which is a downer because I think before me and you were talking, you and Ty were talking, Baines, and I obviously said Šeško and Frenkie de Jong. But it's going to be 2 players for sure for me in my mind. One of them hopefully is Frenkie de Jong or replacement 6. A midfielder has to come into the club basically, and then a forward line player. If we're lucky, it's a right back as well. But that's not going to change the situation of Ten Hag tweaking things, making mistakes, losing football matches. That's just going to make sure that we have players that are able to at least carry out what he's doing at a basic level. That's what that's going to mean for us. The fact that we are maybe, I still believe it's 4th to 6th. Ty went and gone and said that I think we're guaranteed getting 4th in an interview the other day, which was completely wrong. I said 4th to 6th.
You think you dirty?
Yeah, he done me very dirty.
You said they're getting 4 to 6. He said you said that.
Yeah, no. He said even worse, Flawless. He goes that I said we're 100% getting 4th place. I said no. I said amongst us, Baines, it was either 5th place. If somebody slips up, we'll hopefully grab 4th, but it's 4th to 6th. So and people would and I think Ty even thinks that that's even ambitious in itself, which I would agree. I don't mind. I don't mind if people disagree with that. But I said 4th to 6th place is where we'll finish. Most probably 5th. But he goes out and says, he's 100% said that we'll finish in 4th. I was like, no way, I didn't say that, but whatever.
Flawless, go on. How do you think we end this window?
I believe we do sign players. Who? I have no idea because we've just been linked with Arnautovic and Rabiot today. And if this show was yesterday, I would never, if you give me 100 players to name, I would have named those 2. So maybe we just need to look down who else Ten Hag has worked with. But do we sign players? Yes, I do believe we get a striker. Yes, who that striker is, I don't know. I also believe we do get a midfielder. I'm hoping, I like Marcel's optimism that is De Jong. I don't know with this De Jong deal because there's so many different variables. The fact that Barcelona are just crooks. I've never seen anything like this. I seen a report came out today talking about they're looking into
the previous contract or something.
The previous contract because it was against the law or the what's the word I'm looking for? How
legislation or something?
Legislation. How bulletproof it is, in it? Like, is it legal type of thing? I know.
How'd you give him a contract and then say that?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, striker, midfielder. I can still see us getting a winger as well. Again, who that winger is, I don't know. I can see us going cheap. That's why I'm saying these things. I can see us going to get.
No, I hear that.
Like Malacia on the wing for that price. Like no one guessed we would have signed Malacia. No one would have guessed that we signed Eriksen for free. Martinez was second option behind Timber.
I hear that, yeah, but then Ten Hag keeps saying he wants the right player for the right system kind of thing, innit?
Yeah, but you know what happened? He seen McFred yesterday, and he was like, yo, forget right player for the right system. We need a player for right now. That's what he's seen. I need right now. It's no accident that we get beat by Brighton and all of a sudden we're making 2 bids for 2 players. There's a reason.
But do you think Ten Hag's that guy?
100% spot on.
I think Ten Hag would rather stick with what he. I think Ten Hag is that type of manager from what it seems like. To rather stick with what he has than rather panic buy.
I think it wasn't a panic buy thing. I think it was an ideal world thing before yesterday. Yesterday is the eye opener. That's the punch in the face.
No, I'll be honest. Arnautovic, they clearly wanted before yesterday. I think we've already made a bid for Arnautovic and he got rejected.
But we made the bid. Did we make the bid? When did we make the bid? Yesterday.
Who knows? But yesterday is when we publicly knew that we made a bid.
So that means that bid's recent. So like that lets you know. I can see more bids going in for more players. Even though it is the right players at the right. Eventually, you have to go. You have to bite the bullet and go. I need more. Ten Hag's going to be fully aware. Like I said, this job is massive, and all it did is if he didn't know, then he knows now. And if he did know, that's just reinforced it yesterday. Because we got beat by, and let's call it, it's an average Brighton side in terms of their individual players and in terms of the performance they put in. Brighton weren't fantastic yesterday. No, look at that and go, oh my God, Brighton blew us away, yo. They're going to finish in the top 7. They could be threats for Europe. No. and we gave them the game. And we did that, and they did their best to give us the game. They were there for the taking.
I thought this was interesting. Ornstein said that Rabiot was on a list of midfielders and he's not a knee-jerk reaction due to yesterday.
He probably was. But that's just sped it up. Yesterday, I think, has just sped up everything. That's why I think has happened.
What do you think, Marcel, on this?
A lot of people are saying Rabiot's not got the quality. Rabiot's this, Rabiot's that, but he's an upgrade on the midfielders that we've got, especially in those 2-6 positions. I don't see Rabiot as a 6. But whatever quality, if this is someone that Ten Hag wants, I'm backing it. He's going to have to learn the hard way, is how I'm seeing it for this whole season. He has to, look, we have to still believe that Martinez is good enough to play as a 6, as a centre-back in the Premier League. The amount of fans that I'm speaking to, opposition fans that are saying, listen, you guys are going to get bullied. You know, they were talking about the Welbeck performance and how, you know, he could just pin the ball down, get his team into our half and they start playing from there at times. So Martinez has got a lot of work to do in terms of being able to deal with taller, more physical players. Half of West Ham's team's over 6'2". Do you know what I mean? Defending corners, all these little things. Don't get me wrong. I've seen Mascherano play at centre-back. I've seen Cannavaro play at centre-back, or Ballon d'Or winner. So I've seen it work as smaller centre-back. But Ten Hag has got style and theories and ideas of play that haven't been implemented in this league yet. You know, in terms of the fullbacks, you know, they were playing very central and the whole team, except for the wingers, were playing very centralized. It was only the wingers that were out wide, really adding the width. These styles of play, listen, Pep finished 6th, I think, his first season. 66 points or something. Had Nolito that weren't playing good. I think Bravo goes in the first season.
I think he got 4th in it.
Is it 4th? Well, he finishes 6th. He finishes 6th or something in one season and just about gets top 4. It could have been 4th then, maybe I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it might have been 4th. But the point total weren't that great.
Yeah, I think
but the point total weren't that great. It wasn't that great. He lost plenty of football matches. And we're here trying to implement a whole new philosophy. For me, as far as I'm concerned, Louis van Gaal didn't play the similar football that Ten Hag's trying to play right now. Just the last season ago, we were playing counter-attack with Oli. So this is a complete different style of football. It's going to take time for these players to understand this. I've seen lots of training videos of how Ajax play, and I'm seeing the exact same training videos of Man United players, and it's not the same tempo. It's just clearly not the same tempo. It's going to take time. This is a process, man.
We even saw it with Pep. Remember that season? Remember when they lost 4-0 to Everton? I think Tom Davies destroyed City that day.
All I'm saying is it's a process, man. It's a process. I think it's not going to be something that finishes or happens really easy. It's going to take time. So
we just have to strap in for that ride, innit? Because I can't lie, right now, the club is looking long in it. He's looking.
But this was it before. Like I said, if you're this is why you don't have belief. Why did we need yesterday to know?
No, but you see, no, I'll be honest here. But even I told you, I think we're finishing 6th no matter what, innit?
You did say this,
but you know what
so
it is? Rabiot, Arnautovic, they've just disappointed me to another level. Like I said, because I think remember Marcel the other day when we were doing that show, I said if we go out the first 3 games and we haven't won a game, I wouldn't be surprised. It's a tough run. Brighton, Brentford, Liverpool. But now, I'm fine that we lost in it. Obviously it's frustrating, but Rabiot, Arnautovic, does it improve us to even Europa League level? Can we even win that with these lot?
It improves us. It improves us Europa League. Yes, it does. Yes, of course it does. Frankfurt won the competition and they finished 11th in the Bundesliga. Yes, it does. Yes,
I hear that.
If we can't match the 11th best team in Germany, let's call it a wrap now. Let's go. Us three might as well go Old Trafford now and burn it down because it's a wrap. If we can't match Frankfurt or get to a final like Rangers, yes, we're bad, but it's not what. Let's not make shit worse than it is. If we can't match Rangers and Frankfurt, it's a wrap.
And now Rich is making worse than I think, man.
No, it's not. It is if you what's it called? If we played in Germany, we would finish above 11th if we were in the Bundesliga. It might be 10th, but we wouldn't finish 11th. Nobody's raiding Frankfurt. Nobody's raiding Rangers. Europa League is not of the level it expects. Manchester United are held to a different standard because we're Manchester United. That I understand. But let's not make shit bigger than what it is.
I got a question because I can't remember what journalist said this yet. Would you rather keep Charlie McNeil as third choice or would you sign Arnautovic? Because you could argue, I think Arnautovic is better, but you could argue Charlie McNeil, there might be a bit more forward thinking in that. Because now with Arnautovic, this is what Igalo, Cavani, let's be honest, Zlatan was 34 when we bought him, I think. Even Ronaldo's 38 or 37.
Before you continue, because Galembo says, but Arsenal's also in Europe, they'll kill United. Arsenal don't do shit in Europe in their entire history. Go and check it out. Just putting it out there. Not even trolling. Go look at it, people. Tell me what Arsenal have won in Europe, innit? In their 120-odd year history. Go have a look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Go on, carry on. Sorry.
Go on, Marcel. Charlie McNeil or Arnautovic or Garner, Zidane or Rabiot.
So I've seen Šeško. I've seen our manager utilize Haller. I've seen our manager, we've been linked to what's his name, Gakpo, or was it? I've seen a couple YouTube clips. Yeah, these are taller players. The frame of these players are big, strong footballers. McNeil's a young kid, man, and he's more of a Vardy looking type player, speed with skill. We need a focal point 9. Arnautovic fits that mold. I would go with Arnautovic. And for me, I would even extend it as far as what happens if this works? What happens if it starts to work and make more sense? Arnautovic as the 9. Because he understands the system and how he wants to play. Like I said before, Klopp, the players that Klopp went into the market with in his first season are not here no more winning trophies with him. They were there, they served a purpose to deliver a style of football to lay the foundations that he's now gone on to do. We're here, let's get your seatbelts on and be prepared for the ride. This is a long day. This is a long, long day for us.
What about midfield then? Zidane Iqbal, Charlie Savage, or Rabiot?
I would say so. Now I'm going to say Zidane Iqbal simply because I really like this player. Frenkie de Jong is the perfect mentor for that kind of player. Perfect mentor for him to mature his game because he's not got everything Frenkie de Jong has. But if Frenkie de Jong comes into the club, you see a world-class Zidane Iqbal later on in his career. I also think Ten Hag believes in his coaching ability anyway for these kind of players. So that's why he's most probably sticking with half of these men, Scott, Fred, because he believes he can maybe get something more out of them, but he will learn the hard way. So I would say Zidane Iqbal for your question, but if he wants Rabiot, that's an upgrade on Scott McTominay, and that's needed. That man nearly got a red card. He was driving with the ball into blind alleys, couldn't shoot on his left foot, and nearly get. The reason why he nearly gets the red card is because you're not taking on the shot with your left foot when you found the space. He got into a pocket of space and the ball comes to him. He tries to shoot, and then the ball falls to Bruno for the open goal, but he can't shoot because the ball's run past him. There's so many mistakes that man made in that game, in that performance. It's ridiculous. So I'm pretty sure Rabiot, hopefully, because I'm hearing he's got a catalogue of problems as well. So I don't know. It's looking dangerous, but this is the teething period. This is the foundation process. I believe in my manager. Let's see what he can deliver.
I hear that. But anyway, big up everyone for watching. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
We're going to beat Brentford.
Marcel, I second.
You had to say that, man.
I'm with you. No. Marcel, I'm with you on that. You know what I'm saying in that. I like your positivity. I'm with you.
Go on, score prediction then.
I asked for too much.
Yeah, serious show. Just the
you wanted to give me that we're going to be Brentford.
See, I'm glad it's not just me. This guy tries to set you up asking bad questions,
Yeah.
Maybe he's a bad guy.
No, because he was so confident that we're beating Brentford.
We're supposed to be boys in that. You go ask man a bad. This is a very, very bad question.
I want to hit on to them.
You know what I'm saying in that.
2-1.
Ask me on Friday.
No, don't bottle it now.
All right, I won't bottle it. You know what I'm saying? 2-1 United.
Okay. I'm going to say 2-1.
It's an economical question. We're never going to be too far off it. We're never going to be too far off the result at 2-1. It's an accountant's kind of question. It's very safe. It's very... But it's still positive.
2-1 United against Brighton. It went the other way. It went too bad.
All right, what's your prediction against Brentford?
I'm going to go 2-1 then.
2-1 what? Brentford?
No, United. Come on, man.
Right, let's go.
I thought we were going to be Liverpool last year. I'm always confident going into it.
Since you said 2-1, I'm going to say 2-0 United since you said 2-1. I'm going to go one step further. I'm saying 2-0 United. A win and a clean sheet.
I saw Ivan Toney's goal the other day, and I was like, he might have something for us. Hopefully not. But anyway.
Before you go, I thought Martinez was all right against Brighton.
Yeah. I thought he was calm as well.
Decent.
I think people just want to highlight every little thing he does in it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, listen, big up everyone for watching. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to Sarcasm City. The link is in the title. Make sure you guys follow Marcel on all channels and hit him up for coming on. Anything else you want to say?
No, I appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to the game. Obviously, Brentford. And we just got to buckle up, guys. This is going to be a difficult season. We all knew this already. We knew that it was going to be a difficult season. Tanel's got a lot stacked up against him. And I'm pretty sure there'll be more results like this.
Listen, Marcel's confident. We'll see what happens on Saturday. But big up everyone for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with Ty and Biz. So let's see what they're saying.